So, how entrepreneurs stay sane during the negotiation process. Wow. At this point, I coached a couple of entrepreneurs which were right in the thick, like in the process of negotiation. And it was a process over months. One client, it even took 9 months. And they're still in the process, going back and forth, people saying, yeah, we're going to do it. Then another day they call, oh no, I don't want to do it. Like it's an emotional roller coaster, adjusting the contract, and can be quite tricky, especially when you're very needy for that, needy for this like merge of the company or some other sort of negotiation that you're having, or you're going to start being involved in this company too, and you're negotiating the conditions. In a sense, you're needy because I want this is important. And this is exactly what makes this emotional roller coaster, because it's so important to you. And the question is, and what we're also going to talk about here in this video, how can you more stand above things? You're not so much in the thick and getting annoyed if something goes bad, and then if something is great, it's great. More staying overall calm, relaxed in a sense, and standing above things which make you also being able to make the right decisions, not being so emotional in the wrong moments, and generally staying sane. Because also some people I talk with, they are neglecting their health. They're not working out anymore properly. They don't meet their friends as much as they would like to. They're generally very stressed. And that's why they also come talk to me. But you want to avoid that. You want to stay in great condition physically and emotionally, and yeah, maybe that might be also the crucial factor why this negotiation process is then going well. All right. I want to share 2 thoughts that I noticed, this pattern that I noticed within the people that were in this process of negotiation. The first is that this negotiation process is something that is not very common in entrepreneurship in that regard, that when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a CEO, when you're running the business, you have a lot of control. Yes, you don't know how the market changes and whatever, but generally you have more control, especially also with the people you work together and the employees you have maybe. And in this negotiation process, suddenly there's a lot that is not in your control anymore. And I feel like a lot of those entrepreneurs, people who are in this process, cannot handle that. They would like to have control over what they don't have control over. Then they're trying to control that, but they cannot. But they're still trying. And then this concept pops in, which is called learned helplessness. Because you're trying very hard, you're managing, but then still there are other people who then decide differently. You cannot do anything about it, but you try to. And that makes you helpless. And you learn that you're helpless. Learned helplessness. And this term actually is connected to depression. People are depressed who are not motivated anymore to really live life, have this learned helplessness. They learn that whatever I'm doing, it doesn't make sense. And you're at this point probably very stiff emotionally because you're trying so hard, you're doing so much over the last months. Why is the process not going faster? And you're trying to influence that, but you cannot. And that's why, in a sense, you feel this helplessness. And this is why you feel so stiff. And I want you to first of all realize that there is a large percentage here that you don't have control over. 0, none. That's the first step. And I even want to go a step further. I want you to be okay with it if this entire deal doesn't work out. Wow. Every deal is different. Maybe you're looking at me right now and you're thinking that this is not possible. I mean, the business will fail if this doesn't work or whatever. But I want you for a moment to consider, what if this doesn't work? And in a sense, maybe even slightly expect that you cannot rely on this deal. Because I feel like in the past you relied on that deal way too much. That's why you're so emotionally invested, and that's why you're right now so stiff about it, and that's very exhausting. And again, you don't have control over a large part here. Yeah, So this is my first point here, this learned helplessness, trying to focus on things you don't have control over, and that's what's making it so exhausting. And it doesn't help. Trying to control something you can't control, it doesn't help. It just makes you stiff and tired. First point. Second point is a thing that is very famous in dating. In dating, they call this one-itis. It's this idea that, for example, guys, chances are statistically that you are a guy. If you're dating a woman and then maybe she breaks up with you and then you have a really hard time getting over her and you kind of think, oh, this was maybe the one, I cannot fall in love with anybody else. Like, this was so beautiful. I cannot build any other connection with any other woman in life. She was the one. This is called one-itis. And what I also feel like, at least what I noticed at this point, are people who are in this negotiation process for a long time and are very needy for it, they are having this one-itis. They think, oh, this is the one deal. This is the best option I'm having. This is really, like, if this doesn't work, I don't know. Nothing works. I had this one client who said, he literally said, if this deal works, the company will be successful forever. Well, and if it doesn't work, maybe the company gets bankrupt. So it was very much also in this all or nothing thinking. It becomes very obvious when somebody says, and if it works, then the company will be successful forever. That's not a statement you can make. But he was really in this all or nothing thinking, this one-itis, if this one deal works. And the idea also in coaching and in therapy is to open up this mindset, to become a little less needy, to make this is very, very important, more of it's interesting. This deal is interesting. And if this doesn't work, potentially we also have some other opportunities going on. And in this whole process, manage you to become more open and creative. Get away from this problem space into the solution space and be able to see more opportunities that you haven't seen before. Because if you're stiff and tight with your emotions, your attention also becomes focused. This is what happens when anxiety kicks in. You're more laser focused. Like a lion is standing in front of you, you're afraid, but you're laser focused. If you're more relaxed and calm, if you're more dominant, you're able to actually be more creative, think more creatively, and come up with better solutions counterintuitively. And this is where we want to bring you back from this one-itis and towards a more powerful, resourceful state to make the better decisions. If you want help with that, if you want to talk about that and understand whether maybe it even makes sense or is even the best financial investment to hire a coach over a period of time to go through this negotiation process together, then hit me up. There's a link below the video. Just schedule a call. There we just, first of all, get to know each other in the first quick call, see whether this generally might be a good fit, and then we hop on a second free call where we work out a custom strategy together. For a full hour, really come up with an individualized strategy for you, how you can overcome this, how you can let go of this one-itis, let go of this learned helplessness, and get in a better emotional state and make the right decisions. All right. Again, all you have to do is just sign up for the call, everything for free, and then at the end we make a decision whether working together makes sense or not, but there are no strings attached. Let's call. How long do you want to wait? You don't have time. This is probably indeed a critical period right now, and you don't want to mess this up. And also you surely don't want to get into a burnout and ensure that you're, the way you're walking around through life and the way you lead your business the last weeks is probably in a very tough and stiff way. And this is not how entrepreneurs build a successful business. Yeah, so let's talk.